This, as you all know by now, is the Zorgon-Peterson Panther Clipper. Long anticipated has this ship been, and now we have access to it. However, like with all things, there are some minor problems. Around, let's face it, it's a big humdinger, weapon placement on the ship. It'll shoot through its hull, and also its cargo rack. And how can Frontier fix this? The Panther Clipper is indeed a majestic beast. It's huge, it's big, it says opulence, it says I have arrived, and that's fine by me. 10 weapon hardpoints on this monstrosity, this flying cathedral, this planet that must not only have its own gravity, it's that large. All that aside, and all joking aside, there are some problems, however, with the weapon placement. And to be fair, I'm not entirely sure how Frontier's going to fix this one, other by either changing the hardpoint or, I don't know, moving it. Now, even though I think this is a particularly well-designed ship, it is very nice, there is this problem in regards to the top dorsal weapons sat at the back that are punching its way right the way through the forward starboard sort of action section of the front of the ship. Now, look at this. We're going to zoom in. We're going to get our lasers out, punching right the way through that bit, right there, and coming out the other side. Now, that hard point, even though it's turreted, I've got it set to forward fire, and that's fine by me. Some people are going to want to do that. But it punches right through that haunch, right there, that shoulder section, should you say, just above where the heat exchangers are, and comes right out the other side. Now, above that is a small hard point. Okay, great. So how are they going to fix that one then? I don't know. But one thing that has struck me is this ship looks, from that angle, like the front of the Battlestar Galactica. The new version, the Ron Moore version. I don't know. Also, you drop that cargo hatch, and the bottom great big whopper large weapon is going to shoot down right the way through that as well. Well, my goodness gracious me. I mean, how are they going to do that? This is not the first time, however, this has happened. I think we had this on the Challenger and those sort of Ranger ships. And again, some of the other behemoths. But it's shooting right through the deck plates of that cargo rack. Right there. That's a bit of a pain, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? That's a right bit of a pain. So, two problems. The guns at the top, the guns at the bottom. Although it is quite impressive when you see that right there shooting directly at you. That's an awful lot of whoop-ass laying down on a particular person. In my honest opinion, anyway. So what are you thinking? How are they going to fix that? Well, they can either change the design of the ship. That's excessive, I know. Perhaps, well, either way, if they move it in front of that small one on the top, one is going to be shooting through the other. It's all going to be down to hard point placement. Now, I think if you're in turreted shoot at anything mode, you're hardly going to notice it. But the astute amongst you, who noticed this on my initial review video of the Panther Clipper, said, hang on, are they shooting through the hull? And I hadn't even dropped the cargo hatch then, because I hadn't had the foresight to do it. But yes, indeed. Indeed they had. So what are you thinking? How are they going to fix that? They can't really put it on the cargo pods. Or we imagine where the cargo pods are, which is the black bit in the middle. What are they going to do? This is not really even a ship kit problem. This is an actual problem with the model. Oh dear me. Oh dear me indeed. I don't know where they're going to go with this one, to be perfectly honest. Other than, like I say, move the hard point. And that might be major surgery. Major surgery. So the two hard points at the top and the large at the bottom. What are we thinking? What are we thinking? I mean, the easiest thing really is to pop it directly there on the nacelle. But then when you drop the gear, the nacelle's going to go up and your gun's going to point the other way. It's an interesting problem for Frontier. And I'm sure they're all slapping themselves on the head. Now, I'm not entirely sure whether those people who are going to be rocking around in their Panther Clipper and having ship-launched fighters are going to have a similar problem. The big laser is certainly behind the entrance and egress port for the fighter. Right there. You know? It is right there. That gun is going to, well, effectively shoot through the gap where the fighter goes into. Something to have food for thought. We'll recall the fighter. That will deploy the ramp now, and we'll see what we can see, as my father used to say. So, here we go. We're going to go into the cockpit. We're going to bring the fighter back. We're going to go back into the external camera and see what happens. I think it'll be all right, to be perfectly honest with you. There is the recall sort of like HUD display for the fighter. No problem. I think it's going to be all right. It's going to fly through the gap. There's the gun. My big honking space gun. Kind of here comes the fighter. It's going to be tight. Interesting stuff. What do you think of this Panther Clipper issue? Shooting through the hull. And the like. It's an interesting one, isn't it? Shooting through the cargo rack. Potentially a problem with the fighter bay. Who knows? You let me know in the comments and what you're thinking about the Panther Clipper at the moment. I really like to hear your thoughts. I've been Ricardo. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you soon.